Hi guys, good afternoon. Welcome back to Aurora again. You can probably tell I'm absolutely full of a cold right now, so sorry if my voice is very weird, but there we go. Today, I'm on my own actually, 10 years in Denmark for a week, and I'm staying on the boat just because, you know, the weather for this time of year, it's just coming into the start of October now. It's amazing, you know, it's still 20 degrees, well 18, 20 degrees, the sun's out, there's a good wind. Seems like a good opportunity to go out and sail, right? This is the first time that I am taking the boat out alone, so I have to plan everything super carefully and super methodically to make sure that everything goes fine and I don't do anything bad with the boat. I'm pretty confident that I can do it, you know, providing that I'm very careful and I prepare everything like I say, but still, there's always a first time, right? And it's always racks the nerves a little bit. Anyway, let's get going and get out sailing. You can see up there the wind is coming from the stern starboard quarter there, so it makes it kind of easy for me actually, because I can let the boat hang on both of these back cleats here on the stern, and then I can just release the port side, because the starboard side will hold the boat, and then that leaves me just with one line to release, and then I can just move it forward. I've got to make sure that my bow thruster is also deployed, ready for if I need it or not. Putting her in reverse, she's got a left-hand prop, so she walks to starboard going backwards. So I don't even need the bow thruster right now. I'm not going to fight the wind, I'm going to use the wind slightly on the starboard side to push the bow and then just go gently backwards out of the marina. And this is quite a special feeling for me actually, you know, it's like the first solo flight. I mean, first time I flew a plane I had the same feeling when I went around the aerodrome and landed it myself, you know. Anything that happens is your fault, there's no one else to blame. You have no crew, you have to do everything yourself and you have to plan accordingly, like I said. It's getting into the evening now, so I need to motor on. The wind is doing about 16 or 17 knots at least. That's just in here, never mind out there. So I might get the sails out, but the wind is more or less on the nose, so I don't really want to tack a lot tonight. So I'll see when we get out there whether we're going to motor or not. So I know I need to reef the main at least, because I'm going upwind. The apparent wind is going to be more like 20-21. There's a certain trick to getting the in-mast furler out on your own reefed, and that is to actually take a little bit of tension up on this endless furler and then winch the main sail out, but you have to have just enough tension on that endless line to not let all of the main sail out all at once. Now I'm going to try that now. It doesn't really matter if I let all the sail out, because it's just going to flap and then I can start winding it back in again a bit. But I actually want to take the sail out to the right reef and then just lock it off. So what I'm talking about is this endless furler here. If I leave just enough tension on here, it's going to kind of hold it just enough so that all the sail doesn't come out at the same time. I can see down here I've got a potential problem, but I'll have to deal with that another time. I think that's the splice, where they've spliced the two together. Tighten that up just a little bit and it should hold it just enough. right now there's too much tension on that line because I'm having to put a lot of force to try and pull the sail out, so I've just got to release it a little bit. Now I can see it coming out rather fast now. I pull these as tight as I can. You can see I've just got the right amount of sail out now. Just flick it to ratchet. No more sail's going to come out now. Now, just pull the jib out. And then we start sailing. The main sail is luffing slightly, so maybe I could tighten that up a little bit, but I've got to fall further off. The jib can actually go higher than the mainsail, so you can see that's fairly happy, but I need to take care of those sails. You can see I got a little bit of luffing on the back of the sail there. I may need to tighten up the strings on the back of the sail, the leech lines. One of the reasons why I try and set both of the sails is that it balances the boat out a bit better. In heavy winds, actually, even with the shorter or the smaller self-tacking jib, it can unbalance the boat on the front, and she can do unexpected things, you know, and it's just better with both sails out. Even just a little bit of mainsail out makes a little bit of difference to this boat, you know, keeps it more balanced. 14 knots. This is actually turning out to be a pretty good sail. Just switched on the navigation or the running light and the steaming light on the mast as well. But we're going through the islands quite nicely. This can't be good for my cold though. I should have put a bit more clothes on, but never mind. You know, getting over it. I think I'm on the tail end of it now. It's not too bad. Solo sailing so far is going okay. Now the sailing bit is not the part I'm worried about, it's the docking bit, but I think there'll be somebody at the dock at least that's going to help me out on the way in. So otherwise I've got to plan this out a little bit carefully and really try and get a line on the mid cleat. I think I'll go for that one. Get the mid cleat onto the pontoon, and then I'm pretty much safe, you know, as long as there's fenders all the way down the side of the boat. And there goes the ferry that's always trying to run me over. It's either Cinderella or Celia, that's one of them. Yeah, that's not good. One thing you've really got to be careful of in the Stockholm archipelago here is actually being too close to the rocks on the windward side, because if you round up and you can't control the boat, you're just going to go straight into the rocks. And you can see these guys up here just to the left of me. The boat is more or less maxed out at the moment on the amount of sail that I want to put out. So I just got to stay well away from the rocks at this point, you know. It sounds quite obvious, but it's quite tempting to cut close to them sometimes. In other news downstairs, there's water gone everywhere because unfortunately that tray moved and turned the tap on, so the tap's been running and just put water all over the floor. So I've got to clean that up a little bit later, I think. I hope it wasn't too much. I don't think it was. I'll check under the floorboards. Also, one challenge I've got to get around here is actually getting the in-mast furling sail in with just one set of hands, right? And the way to do that is to actually wrap the outhaul around the winch like twice, maybe 3 times. And then I'm going to go up to the mast, up to there, and actually wind it in from the mast. It's much easier there. Whoa, getting some gusts of wind. But yeah, I've got some lines out ready, fenders are all ready to put out. They're probably all just going to go on one side. Hopefully I'll get a side 2 dock, so it'll be nice and easy. I can just slide in there. But the only problem is with these docks is that you have to get a line through an eye and then back to the boat, or through an eye and then tie it on, you know. It'd be far easier if there was an actual cleat on the dock, because you can just jump off, wrap it around quick, or create a loop on the side of the boat, so you can just loop across the cleat and then it's got the side of the boat and you can use the engine to stabilize it in the bow thruster. So we'll have to improvise a bit, but I'll see who's there, who can help me. It would be nice. I'm pretty much the only sailing boat out here right now. But it's been a beautiful night, a beautiful sail.
Need to pick up the in with the front.
Yeah.
I'll catch you.
Thank you.
It's okay, I have you. I have you.
Yeah. That was successful. Aurora is in the dock, safe and sound, and yeah, there's one more boat here, so luckily I had some help there, which was super nice. But yeah, it's the first time docking Aurora on my own, so yeah, it's a nice feeling to get her into the dock, like I say, safe and sound. And it was a bit of a challenge, but there we go. And I think the guy was a bit worried about me getting quite close to his boat, but you know, how else am I meant to get in otherwise? I'll show you what the docking situation is like in the morning. Well guys, it's goulash soup tonight and some bread. Just keep it nice and simple, to be honest. It's 8:30 now, and by the time I've settled down and got everything tied away, squared away, all that kind of stuff. But I think I might actually go in the sauna tonight, you know. Got some firelighters. Pretty sure there's wood up there. I'm kind of looking forward to that. Try and get rid of this cold a bit more, you know. Maybe not go for a swim, I don't know, we'll see. The water's 13 degrees right now, so yeah. Lessons learned, well, none really. Secure my stuff a bit better down here, you know. We were heeled over quite a long way, so there was some stuff rolling around, but nothing major. Overall, I think it went really successfully, and I really enjoyed that solo sail, so yeah, that's good. Just about to get in and have some nice sauna time. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. To be honest, I'm just enjoying my time here on the island, just really enjoying the boats, just cooking some food, doing some work. But yeah, I mean, everything is here, you know. I've got the NAS box set up, I've got yeah, watching some YouTube at the moment, and reading some emails and so on. I got the dehumidifier down here, and that's super nice actually. Not so much needed today because it's fairly dry out there, to be honest, but when the wet days come along, the dehumidifier, when it starts to get cold, is almost essential, so you don't get those drops of water like going down and inside the boat and down the side of the boat and on the windows, on the tops anywhere. The dehumidifier really helps out with just keeping that moisture level down a bit. It's nice sometimes just to be alone, you know, and just have to do everything yourself, and gives you time to think and reflect on things. A little bit too much time to think sometimes. It's a special experience being out in the Stockholm archipelago at this time of year. because usually this place has always got like 10-20 boats in, that's for sure. It is a members club, so it's a little bit different to most other places. But anywhere you go in the Stockholm archipelago right now, you'll find very little boats, and you get a sense of real nature, you know. One of the busiest stretches is actually just south of Grinda here, where everybody comes through this choke point or channel. There's nobody around anywhere. It's really super surreal actually, but it's so nice just listening to the wind through the trees. No power boats, nothing. Since we're running the heater all the time, the diesel heater burns, I think it burns about 1 liter an hour, if you keep the temperature sort of stable inside the boat and not heat it up and cool it down all the time. Which isn't too bad actually, but over time, over a few days, you can actually see the diesel tank slowly going down. So there's one thing I do to mitigate that, and it's actually just bring an electric heater on board. Obviously this is only if you have shore power, otherwise it doesn't make any sense to run any electrical heater inside a boat like this. 2000 watt heater, there you can see it's roughly drawing about 1900 watts it draws or something like that. Just be aware of the fan heaters though, they are a slight fire risk, at least in my opinion anyway, so I just run it for, you know, when I'm away short periods of time. I would never leave the boat with a fan heater on like this, that's for sure. The other thing is moisture. Moisture is a boat's worst enemy inside. I've just taken a shower, so you can see it's all sort of moist around the windows and the walls and things like that. I dried most of it off, but you can see it on the floor. But one thing we're doing right now is running the dehumidifier, and a minute ago it was at 75% humidity. Now it's down to 66. So I'm just going to do a little experiment today, just to see how well that dehumidifier works. It's roughly half an hour or 40 minutes later, and let's go and have a look inside. Now, yeah, the dehumidifier has taken it down to 40% humidity now, and yeah, there's some water on the floor, which is fine, but all the windows have cleared out. Everything is now like super dry in here. I'm gonna pack up now, do myself some bacon sandwiches, and then I'm gonna start sailing back, so let's get to it. Just slip all the lines, leave the mid-cleat on, and then just release the mid-cleat, run back to the helm, and just come straight out. It's not too hard. We've got swept back spreaders, which means that we have to be a little bit careful when we get the mainsail out quite far going downwind, because the sail tends to lean against those spreaders, and I don't want to put too much pressure against them. And one way of getting around this is actually not to go dead downwind and sort of tack downwind or jibe downwind. But another tactic actually that I use is to pull the vang down quite tight, so it keeps the top of the sail fairly tight, so it doesn't bag too much against the spreaders. Also, it seems to work. 6.4 knots with about 18, 19 knots of true wind speed. The wind is just off the, it's about 45 degrees from the stern, and I could actually get the jib out as well to make a bit more speed, but as we turn the corner the jib's going to start playing games, so I'm not going to bother getting that out. Alright guys, I just almost had a boo-boo moment there. It's just looking around, enjoying the archipelago, you know, and we're doing close to 7 knots now, and this boy, well, this stick just snuck up on me out of nowhere, to be honest, and I was heading straight at it. And it was probably about 10 meters away before I swerved out the way. I mean, have to be very vigilant around here, that's for sure. Not all the time. But, that would have been a bit of a nasty one. It probably just would have bounced down the side, but still, you don't really want to hit anything, right? Sailing around here, as I said many times before, is very interesting because the islands do all kinds of things with the wind, and especially between two islands like this, right? As soon as you come in the channel here, you get like the funneling effect of the wind, and all of a sudden the wind went up to from like 15 knots up to like 22, 23 knots, and I was doing 8 knots all of a sudden. So you really got to be aware of that. So the wind is blowing, yeah, 12, 14 knots. I've got to get it in there backwards, so basically I've got all my lines free at the back of the boat there. All the lifelines away, the flag away, everything that could cause any snags away. As soon as I get the boat in there, I've got to jump off the back here and get a line around the stern. Once I've done that, I'm pretty safe. Single-handed docking, let's see how this goes. Shallow water alarm, there's only 1 meter below the keel right now. Bow is just going a little bit too fast towards those boats then at the front.
So this is where you can see the bow thruster becomes really handy when the bow is swinging just a little bit in the wrong direction, and you can just give it a little touch and put the boat straight again. Usually if the wind's coming from the starboard side, you should put the starboard rope on first, but in this case it doesn't really matter. The boat's in there now. As long as one rope's on there securing the boat from going forward, you're all good.
And we're in, guys. Mission success. So I've just got to put some extra lines on and springs and things like that, but yeah, successful solo sail. I'm pretty happy about that. Thanks very much for watching. Drop us a like if you like this video, and I will see you again the next time. I'm not sure when that will be, but yeah, hopefully soon. And it's been a great season this season. Good that you guys are following. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Take care, guys. See you later. Bye now.